Alright, hello and welcome to the Devstream 119 breakdown. So, Fortuna just came out. There's not a whole lot to talk about here. Obviously, we have the Switch port upcoming, which I'm going to be going over, but other than that, it's going to be fairly light on like huge content drops or big reveals on dev streams. So, let's talk about what we did get. First and foremost, we got the operator hair update, which is there's going to be new operator hairs. And in addition to that, the kind of tech you see here and how nice the hair looks that you see here, that hair is going to come out, and then later they will go back to old hairs and update them. That seemed to be what the plan is, and that's fine. It's the same thing they did with like PBRing stuff, and that like it just makes sense for them to do that way. Personally, in terms of these new hairs that we're seeing here, I think the two on the left look pretty cool. Not so huge on the one on the right. We have a lot of hairstyles that are already like that one, but the two on the left seem like those might be cool. But yeah, basically, I just am. That's cool to see. That's coming before the end of the year. Also, whether or not something is before the end of the year or after the end of the year is going to be pretty important during this video. So, with that, Limbo Deluxe. So, Limbo Deluxe, it does not look like Limbo, not even one bit. And for me personally, I really love how my Limbo Prime looks, so I'm likely to not use this, but because it doesn't look anything like Limbo, that means people that hate the like kind of, suit and hat look of Limbo can have something completely different if they like the playstyle of Limbo but just hate his looks. So that's neat. Also, worth noting, I think, with this skin is that I'm very interested in what the weapon skin is that's going to be coming with it, because it is a nice looking skin, and I think the weapon skin has a ton of potential to be very good. Moving on from Limbo, though, we have the Nidus alt helmet, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. I forgot that Nidus looked like this. I've been using the deluxe skin since like the moment it came out because it's incredible. It's like it looks so much better than regular Nidus. However, there are people that are going to really like the more like strictly infested look of Nidus, and this is a cool helmet for you guys. That's a pretty rad one, right? I think it looks neat. So that's coming. For people who are not using the Nidus Deluxe skin, although I guess you could put it on the Nidus Deluxe skin, that might look rad. But yeah, I legitimately forgot that like the base thing with Nidus is that he like grows and like his pieces like extend out of him to show all the infested bits. I was like, no, he makes metal armor for himself and gets fucking metal. Nope. Not the case. This is the way Nidus usually looks. So, you guys are getting that if you are into regular Nidus. Besides that, new Warframe, let's talk about Baruch. There's not much to talk about. He's going to be a monk frame, which we do not have in the game yet. We do have a monkey, but we do not have a monk, so that is a potentially interesting playstyle for them to put into the game. They did say a weird thing about him, though, which is that the way they approached designing him was kind of the opposite way that they would design a Warframe, which is a very strange thing to say, and I'm curious how it'll turn out. But yeah, at the very least, he looks like a monk. This man looks like a monk, like what you would think a monk Warframe would look like. He absolutely embodies that, I think. So yeah, I mean, hey, like he's probably going to be like support and something else, and we'll see support and punching. I don't know. Something's going to happen with Monk Boy. So yeah, that might be cool. Besides that, let's talk about big important, Melee 3.0, delayed until next year. It is not coming this year, which is news to me because I thought it was definitely going to be this year. Next year, at some point, it will happen. This is really important because this actually changes what my plans are for doing the big Melee review. I'm just going to do it because we have no idea when or if this thing is even coming anymore. So expect a huge Melee review because Melee 3.0 has been delayed enough times that I'm just gonna put it out because people want to know about the melee weapons. So, look forward to that on the channel. Besides that, orb bosses. So, what I mean by orb bosses, the giant spider orb mothers. Those things, just so everyone knows, with Venus's initial release, not fightable. You can't kill them. their big boss fight stuff, not in the game yet. That is coming this year, which is great. That has been one of the #1 things that people have seem to be very confused about, is that you cannot fight the giant orb mothers yet and win anyway. You can try and fight them, but there's no victory to be had there. Not yet anyway. I'm very excited for the Orb Mother fights. I think they're going to be really, really cool, because if the jump from PoE to Fortuna is anything like to be looked at, like Fortuna is better in pretty much every conceivable way that it could be. And if they take what they clearly learned from PoE to Fortuna and take that from Eidolon to Orb Mothers, that means Orb Mothers are probably going to be the best fights ever put into Warframe. And I'm personally very into that. I cannot wait for such a thing. So that's very exciting. Besides that, I think it's going to be very exciting to everyone else, pretty much any player, really. New Floofs. So for those who don't know, what is a Floof? That's the stuffed animals that you've probably seen all over Twitter and all over the Reddit and all over the forums, etc., etc. People getting stuffed animals of the animals you can capture in Fortuna. There are going to be new Floofs, which means there are going to be more animals to capture. They showed very briefly like an owl, an angry dog, and a weird mole rat thing. I don't know how a couple of those are going to translate into adorable stuffed animals, but they'll try. So that's a thing. People are going to be excited about more stuffed animals. That's just the way it's going to go. And then finally, we're talk about something very, very important, and that is the Vent Kid races. So Vent Kid races, you can technically do them right now in the game. They do not award any standing at current. And there was something that Scott mentioned on stream that I want to talk about a little bit deeper than it probably needs to be talked about, but I want people to realize what it would imply. He talked about an entry fee and a payout. An entry fee of standing and a payout of standing. That has problems if it is done. So here's the thing. This is the thing that would happen here. If you have an entry fee of standing and a payout of standing, let's say the payout for a given race is going to be 4,000 standing, and the entry fee for a given race is 1,000 standing. Now, what actually happens when you do that race? You come up to it, you pay the kid 1,000 standing, and then you do the race and you get 4,000 standing. Issue: all you've done is gain 3,000 standing and lower your daily cap by 1,000. Like, for the privilege of not having to grind the giant pipe for a half an hour, you have lowered your daily standing cap with the Vent Kids. That's all you really accomplish there, and that's real bad incentive to do races. I think if they're going to do an entry fee and payout thing, it should be credits as an entry fee at like the very most, because there's like the races are like they're decently fun. Like, I like the races of what I've done with them. I've done a couple, even though they don't reward me with anything. They're pretty like decently fun. But if they lower my daily cap every day, I ain't doing them. Like, plain and simple, if it's like, hey, pay this kid some of your standing for the day so you can get standing, that's a bad trade, man. Because I have a limit of how much standing I can get each day. The way, like, if you're paying in what you're getting out and you have a limit each day, it doesn't work. If there was no limit, you pay in 1,000, you get 4,000. Hooray, net benefit. Great, amazing. But because there's a cap, there's this. It's a real bad consequence of paying in what you get out. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because that will make me not do any Vent Kid races, straight up. Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this dev stream. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. They showed more than I would expect for having just released Fortuna. And I really hope the Vent Kid races don't go that way. Everything else, though, seems pretty rad, except for I wish we were getting a Melee 3.0 this year, but we can't have everything. So that's going to do it for this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.